Good morning, students. Today we are going to see an important general topic on identification of poisonous snakes. As you know, snakes are cylindrical, long limbless, cold-blooded reptiles. So, nearly 3,500 to 4,000 species of snakes are known, which are about 350 species are venomous. So, mostly snakes are not venomous, only some snakes are to be poisonous. So nearly 50 to 80 species of snakes in India are poisonous. So other thing are non-poisonous. Mostly if you are taking sea snakes, they are fully poisonous, and terrestrial snakes mostly they are non-poisonous. With minimum poisonous snakes are there. So identification of poisonous or non-poisonous snake is important because by the bite of to a victim, it can be easily noted that whether the snake has bitten with the poisonous or non-poisonous snakes. So like that, it can be easily understand some of the points. So the poisonous snakes are identified by some of the careful examination of some of the following points. Nature of snake bite. So by the bite, it can be easily noted that whether the snake is poisonous or non-poisonous. So nature of the tail. If the snake is nearly available, by the nature of the tail, it can be easily assessed. Nature of the ventrals. It is not possible to directly observe. Uh, so it must need some expertise. Nature of scale on the head, nature of subcaudal scales, and nature of vertebrals. So these are some of the things by which snake can be differentiated with poisonous or non-poisonous. But first two thing can be easily identified. Another thing needs some of expertise or some of the identification people can do it. Normal manual people can't do it. So from the nature of snake bite, so how the snake has bitten. So by that it can be easily differentiated whether it is poisonous or non-poisonous. And the snake make two puncture on a victim, then it is definitely a poisonous snake. And if it is making many puncture or scratching on a victim, then it may be non-poisonous. And what is that? The blood flow also is overflowing when a poisonous snake bites a victim because of the toxin which is given to the poisonous snake. And in the case of non-poisonous snake, the blood flow will stop after some time. So that is some of the differences you can easily note down. You can see in the picture itself the two puncture made by a snake is a poisonous snake, and other scratchy thing, a scratchy or many puncture or by the fangs. So I will be coming later about the fangs, is a non-poisonous snake. And by the nature of the tail, so by if the snake is very much near to you, by the nature of the tail also it can be somewhat assessed whether it is poisonous or non-poisonous. The tail of the snake should be observed first. If the tail of the snake is flat, laterally compressed and oar shaped, it is a sea snake. So oar shaped snakes and all, it is a sea snake. If it is a sea snake, it is definitely poisonous. So mostly the body is covered by small scale dorsally. Example, hydrophis and hydrina. These two are very poisonous sea snakes. If the tail ends bluntly, it is non-poisonous. If the tail is round or cylindrical and pointed, it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. It may be terrestrial or freshwater. So there will be a confusion to say whether it is poisonous or non-poisonous. So first thing, all sea snakes are poisonous. So how the sea snakes will be there if the tail of the snake is flat? So flat snakes can be easily identified, and there will be confusion if the tail ends bluntly, it is non-poisonous. It is round or cylindrical or pointed. So round, cylindrical or pointed, it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. There may be a confusion whether it is poisonous or non-poisonous in this point. So by the diagram you can easily say that see, flat tail is there, blunt tail is there, okay, uh, poisonous and non-poisonous. And third one, cylindrical shape, it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. So there will be a confusion whether if a cylindrical tail snake bites a person, so there will be a confusion whether it is poisonous or non-poisonous. So there comes a trouble. So from the nature of ventrals, if the tail is round and not compressed, then examine the ventrals. So if there is a confusion in identifying the tail, so then we have to see the ventrals, scales of ventral side of the trunk, dorsal side and ventral back side. That means scale on ventral side. So it will be like a shield. So front side of the snakes, you have seen it is somewhat colorish, colorful, brownish, blackish, like that. When you are seeing the ventral side, it is whitey, limey color, or a slimy color, or maybe it is a creamy color. So there you can see lot of shield like structure or a lot of striations, so which is called ventrals. So ventral scale on ventral side of the trunk. So if the ventrals are small and narrow, it is non-poisonous snake. So ventrals also, it will be broad, sometime it may be small. So by that it can be identify whether it is poisonous or non-poisonous. If the ventrals are small and narrow, it is non-poisonous snake. In some non-poisonous snake like python, the ventrals are somewhat broad, but do not extend completely across the belly. Belly in the sense in the front side. On either side of ventral, a small scale is present. If the ventrals are broad, extending completely across the belly, it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. So if the ventrals are small and narrow, it is non-poisonous. Small and narrow. The ventrals are broad completely across the belly, it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. So by that it can also be identified if the ventrals are small and narrow, then we can say it is a non-poisonous. If the ventrals are broad, then there also will be a confusion extending completely across the belly, it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. So you can see the non-poisonous and poisonous snake. Ventrals are very small, so ventrals are somewhat broad, see, in the and non-poisonous or poisonous. So there is a thing, if the ventrals are very much bigger, very much broad, it may be non-poisonous or poisonous. If it is small and medium, it may stay to the non-poisonous. From the nature of the scale or shield on the head. Scales or shield on the head, very important. So head part has to be notified. If the tail is round and ventral is broad, where tail is round and ventral is broad, then examine the head of the snake. So if the tail is round and the ventral is broad, then we have to go to next thing, the head of the snake. If the head is triangular and covered with small scale and not with shield, it is a viper. So viper, all vipers are poisonous. Pit viper, pitless viper are there. And if the head is triangular, so sometime it may be in a different form, is triangular and covered with small scales and not with the shield, it is a viper. So pit viper, if there is a loreal pit means a kind of groove or a kind of a marking. If there is a loreal pit between the eye and the nostril, see, eye and the nostril very much near eye and nostril, the snake is a pit viper. Pit organ is a thermoreceptor. Some pit viper possess shield on their head. So all the pit viper, mostly the pit viper doesn't possess shield on their head, but some pit viper possess shield on their head. So pitless viper, if there is no pit, that is loreal pit between the eye and the nostril, it is a pitless viper. If the head is covered with a small scale and there is no loreal pit, then the caudal, subcaudal are to be examined. If the subcaudal are in two rows and there is no loreal pit, then the snake is Russell viper. So this is something to identify the pit viper itself and pitless viper. There is some kind of difference are there. Okay. So Russell viper, even though it is a Russell viper, all are poisonous snake. Okay. So based on the nature of the scale or shield on the head, it can be easily identified. So next you can see, so ventrals not enlarged, shield, you can see the shield, large third supralabial shield. So if this shield are seen between the eye and nostril, the shield are seen between the eye and the nostril, so then we can easily say that it is poisonous. So here also you can see a scale on its head on ventral side. There is a vertebrals or enlarged, subcaudal, undivided and band and half ring across the back. Fourth infralabial is largest, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is larger. So you can if it is a larger shield like thing, then it is a poisonous. So here you can see none of the character of cobra, coral snakes are great. It will be non-poisonous. Okay. So shield, if the shield is there, it may be shield in the sense like a hexagonal marking are will be seen on the head part, small head. If there is a big marking which is different from the other, that is a shield. A big marking which is different from the other, it is a shield. So it will be seen between the nostril and eye. So that is a poisonous snake. Nature of the vertebrae. If the head is covered with a shield, not with a small scale, it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. Then examine the vertebrals. Okay. So scale present along the mid dorsal line of the back. Nothing but what is vertebrals? Vertebrae, like that. Scales which may present along the mid dorsal line of the back is called vertebrals. So the vertebrals are large and hexagonal. They are large and hexagon. It is a crite and it is highly poisonous. If it is large and hexagonal, the mid dorsal line, we can say mid dorsal line of the back side of the snake is the vertebrals. If it is large and hexagonal, it is crate and it is poisonous. In addition to the enlarged vertebrals, the crate is characterized by the presence of fourth infralabial. I said infralabial, fourth infralabial also it is a poisonous snake, of which the fourth one is largest. The labial is largest. So infralabial or the shield, they are shield like structure forming the margin of the lower jaw. So it is correct. Example, bungaras is a poisonous snake. So if the vertebrals are not large, then examine the supralabial shield. So if it is large and if the shield is also, if the suprainfralabial is also bigger in size, then it is surely it is a poisonous. If the vertebrals are not large and if the shield, we have to see. If the third supralabial shield touches the nasal shield on the eye, it is either a cobra or the coral snake. Both cobra and coral snake are poisonous. So whenever shield, if it is not large, we must not think that it is a non-poisonous. Then also we have to go to other identification like a third and fourth supralabial, that is a shield. By that it can be easily understand whether it is poisonous or non-poisonous. So these are the identification mark. So here you can see small scales on the head, pit absent. Even though pit is absent, pitless viper. So all the pit viper, pitless or whatever the thing, they are poisonous. So small cephalic scale on triangular head you can see. So here you can see laureal pit. In the pit viper, laureal pit is present. So which is a marking, bigger marking. So it is poisonous snake. So here we can see large cephalic shield are there. Now it shield on the head, laureal pit is absent. So it may be poisonous or non-poisonous. So differences is between poisonous and non-poisonous. Poisonous or venomous and non-poisonous or non-venomous. There is differences, physical features of the poisonous snakes are stout, dull colored. They are dull colored, and brightly colored or non-poisonous snake. We can saliva contain toxic peptides and enzymes, non-toxic. So saliva secretion will be more in the venomous snake. Tail is compressed, as I was saying before, and rounded in the non-poisonous snake. Belly, ventral scale, broad and always extended across the entire width of the belly. Small in the case of non-poisonous snake. Vertebrals, that is back scale, is enlarged as the crite, not so. Head scale usually smaller, usually larger in the non-poisonous snake. A pit between eye and nose as a pit viper. A third supra label scale touching the eye and the nasal shield as in cobra. So it is also poisonous. The fourth infra shield as in crite. So whenever the shield is there in third supralabial and fourth supralabial, it is different snake. It may be cobra and crite, but it is poisonous. Teeth. Upper jaw has a pair of teeth modified into fangs. All teeth are uniform and small in size, and there are no fangs. Very important thing. So fangs is a big teeth-like structure which is very much seen in the poisonous snake. So upper jaw has a pair of teeth modified into fangs. So that is a fangs. Upper jaw has a pair of teeth modified into fangs. And usually there are four longitudinal row of teeth in the upper jaw and two in the two row in the lower jaw in the case of non-poisonous snake. Bite mark, as I said, usually two, more than two. Habit usually nocturnal. Nocturnal habit, mostly poisonous snakes are nocturnal habits. Only people are saying that evening, during night time don't go away, because mostly poisonous snake may come during night time, evening and night time. So non-nocturnal, non-poisonous snakes are non-nocturnal. So this is I think this you can easily identify some of the characters of these snakes, and might be having some idea about the snakes.